I've got many miles to go before I sleep. And, there's like you climb one mountain, there's the next mountain range. I mean, like I said, I fall on my ass all the time, but I'm listening and looking at it. And it's, uh, it's a constant learning experience.
It's
But you're
powerful.
also in a profession, I think that, um, as an actor where you're vulnerable, right? So even going out for
Yeah.
parts and whether you get them or not, or what the reviews are, or the success of it, like it leaves you very vulnerable.
The rejection can be, you know, that's where I say you got to be hard headed.
Does rejection get easier as you get older?
I don't know. Maybe it doesn't last as long. I remember I was thinking I was going to get a part and it didn't happen. And it was like, in the moment, I was like, well, shit, what, why not? And then just let it go. I've had so much shit said about me, over the years that it's like, after a while in life, you just have to let them because what are you going to do?
Hey, we are back and we are so happy to bring you another episode of the Helen and Mt Podcast.
Ooh. Our show is about sharing words and wisdom of our guests and ourselves around aging, life journeys, and personal growth. And our goal is to guide you to live life fully. Now, a word from our sponsor.
Hey, it's Helen, and I am so excited to tell you about our new sponsor, Back to Earth Skin. Now, I love skincare, and I have tried everything out there, from the high-end and then to the drugstore brands. But that all changed about a year and a half ago when I discovered Back to Earth Skin. Since then, I have been completely hooked. Back to Earth Skin is setting a whole new standard for natural skincare. They blend the best ingredients nature has to offer with a commitment to sustainability. So it's a win for your skin and for the planet. Their products are 100% natural, vegan, cruelty-free, and I can honestly say that my skin has never looked better. And what really makes Back to Earth Skin incredible is that they have this trademarked mineral microbiome clay. This rare natural clay is packed with over 40 minerals like magnesium, potassium, calcium, and zinc, minerals that are known to boost your skin health and leave your skin feeling hydrated and refreshed. So if you're ready to try skincare that's natural, affordable, effective, and kind to the earth, head to backtoearthskin.com. You get 15% off your first order, but make sure to use the code HTMT when you order, because that way you will receive 15% off your second order. Links to Back to Earth Skin are in the description of the podcast, and when you start to use this incredible product, your skin and the planet will thank you. Now, back to the show. Today, we are thrilled to have the incredible, talented, and charismatic Chris Noth with us. Chris is a trained theater actor, but is most recognizable for his film and TV career. He is perhaps best known for his iconic roles as Mike Logan in Law & Order, Peter Florrick in The Good Wife, and of course, the unforgettable Mr. Big in Sex and the City. He has also made his mark on the big screen, starring in films like Castaway alongside Tom Hanks. In addition to his acting career, Chris has a deep passion for music and is a proud husband and a father of 2 boys. Welcome, Chris. You ready?
You ready? Okay, let's do it.
Yes, I
Okay.
am.
Well, you answered our first question. Where are you right now?
I'm in the Berkshires in a town called Great Barrington. It's a house that I bought in 2012, 13, because I wanted my one son, I have 2 now, to always, he goes to school in Southern California, but I wanted him to have a New England, I wanted him to know New England, which is where I grew up with seasons, and I wanted him to have white Christmas. Of course, we're not getting white Christmases.
No, not anymore.
I wanted him just to know the culture here because Southern California culture is very specific and LA culture can be very, I don't know, repressive in some ways. I wanted him to, and he loves it. It's great because we're on a hill, but we can walk to the town, look out to the mountains.
How long are you there for?
Well, we do all Christmas here, and then summers, I had a connection to the Berkshire Theater Group, which is in Stockbridge, and then my wife wrote a play that they did, and now she's on the board. So there's a lot of arts going on up here.
I love that.
But I go to see James Taylor every summer
Hey,
usually.
James Taylor's coming to Toronto in June.
Oh, good.
I just
Yeah.
found it June 27th. I love him.
Now, your eldest son just got his license.
Yeah.
How is that?
He's a really good driver. He's a really careful driver. But I get worried. Driving in LA is a real I find it, I'm used to it. So and I basically test where I'm at with my meditation by driving in LA. And then I find myself, like, put on your fucking blinker, you asshole. So, first of all, they drive so fast in LA and they have absolutely no patience. And I guess I'm the same way. New York, everyone's yelling and no one cares. Go taxi, you honk, everyone's honking and everyone's doing the same thing and they're not taking it personally. But in LA, there's a lot of road rage in LA. So I'm working on that.
Well, and then you have with the traffic, I was just visiting my girlfriend there in October, and I would say, okay, let's go do this. And then she'd have to sort of go, okay, well, we have to leave by this time. We have to be on the road by this time because otherwise you're stuck in traffic for 3 hours.
It's like Toronto, though. It's the same.
Yeah. I heard that Toronto's terrible too.
We are the same.
Yeah.
We are the same. So, and we can't really count on mapping it out and the amount of time Waze tells you to go because it's always longer.
Yeah, going from the airport's pretty bad, isn't it? When you're flying, that's why I like flying into that little island.
Porter.
Yeah.
I'm not bad from the airport because I'm close enough to the highways or the time, but Porter's great. From my door to the gate is an hour.
Your other son, how old is your other son?
Keats is 4.5.
He's 4.5.
Here's an interesting fact. Orion was born on January 18th. Keats was born on February 18th. Tara was born on August 18th. I was born on November 13th.
Oh, wow.
Apparently numerologists say 18 is a very powerful number.
It is.
So if I'm in Vegas on the roulette, which I'm never there really, but I have one on 18.
Really?
Yeah. I put it all around 18 and on 18 and 13.
Now, how do you find your parenting is different from when you had Orion to now when you have Keats?
Well, Keats has come into my life in such a when Orion came in, it was unexpected. Also, both children came out of the sky like, what? This is happening. Like, I was always scared about raising children because I spent so much of I had Orion when I was 53.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's late and it was scary for me. But I was working steady on a series in New York, and we had decided that it might be easier, more room in LA. I'd already had an apartment there that we were sharing, and I was going back and forth. And then it was like, do we go to New York and get an apartment or like a house where and so we got a house in Sherman Oaks, which we have to this day. And it's very pretty there. It's if I squint my eyes, I always say, and look, because we're a little bit on a tree house up in the hill, middle of the, and I'm like, well, this could be the south of France if I use my actor's imagination. And so I was away working a lot, 2 weeks off, 2 weeks in whenever I was in Budapest doing Tyrant, I had them out for his spring break. He's got an extraordinarily close relationship with his mother because, I was away a lot. Now with Keith, I've been there since the beginning. The pandemic happened. I'm not working in New York and I'm like beside myself with love for this kid. As I Orion. But there is something, and everyone will say it, there is something about, I named both of my sons, by the way. I named Keats after John Keats, the poet. there is something about Keats that is undeniable. And even when he's having a tantrum,
I
Really?
love
In what
that.
way? Like in what is it that resonates that's undeniable?
his freedom of expression and his honesty in it, and he's so there. He's so in the moment, and he's so curious. And well, here's a typical, this is kind of like, I don't know if you can see that.
He's so
It's
cute.
adorable.
But your
Like,
wife is so beautiful too. So between the two of you, your kids
we've
are
got a
stunning.
very interesting mix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a photo that you posted of him where I think he's leaning on a wall, sitting down with a hat on.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that photo.
Yeah, I know. I have to do it. My wife gets mad at me for posting anything, and I got to be careful about. But that I could. I want to get that framed.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
it's
a
great.
great shot. You
How's
got to
your
frame that.
how's your energy though with the young one?
It's a lot of energy. It's early mornings, and it's like getting up for the call on a show. It's 6 a.m., but you're not going to set. You're going. He's coming in your bed and ready to roll. He's much more. Orion was a really easy baby. You'd put him on a plane and or a restaurant, and he'd start coloring and drawing, and he needs action. Now, my wife always says Keats is me and Orion is her, because he's very kind of quiet, and he can be shy, but he's also observes the world around him in a way that's he doesn't need to talk if he doesn't have to, whereas Keats is always bubbling.
It's
Anyway,
beautiful.
it's
The innocence of the young.
it's not easy, because I didn't expect to be going back to Thomas Trains at my age, uh, seeing old Mickey Mouse cartoons, and Christmas is a real job. You got to make it right for them, and there's it can be stressful having children at my age.
I
I
understand.
had my children a little bit later too, but there's something I think it's a gift in ways too, because they keep you, I mean, I find my boys, they keep me current.
I mean, when we say that line, it keeps you young and all that. I don't know. I mean, I do notice that I have to try to stay in shape for,
Yeah.
Which you are, because you just did that 100-mile walk.
Yes, I just
that
yeah,
hike.
so
Do you want to
just
talk
tell-
about that? The pictures looked incredible.
That's my third one with this group, and they all live in Spain. And one of my dearest friends is Alfonso, who lives in Madrid, who connected me with this group, and another friend of mine, Brian, who also lives in LA. And it's a group of people, and they do it a lot more than me. Go on these walks, and the West Highland Way is the most famous one. The Camino in Spain is the other one, and they've been around many, 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 many years, and they're kind of known as pilgrimages or just walks. You know? And the thing is like, I mean, to hear it, you go, "Oh, it's so profound to be walking," but really, the reality is it's really hard, and you're just trying to through each mile, and you have to pace yourself, and
It's like 8 hours a day, and then you go to a camp in and the food.
your little hotels or bed and breakfast type places. You go there, and then you go to the next on the map, the next 15 miles or something. I mean, I used to run 6 miles in the park in Central Park, and I haven't done that in a long time. But walking, um, it does. Um, you watch how your mind works, kind of, and you can listen to it very clearly.
And did your because I know you had mentioned that you are meditating now. Did that help with this journey? Like, did having sort of like it must be very meditative doing it.
No, help. What meditation does is, I think, confront you with you. And it's not to solve the problem of you, if it's a problem or whatever. And like I said, I may meditate, but then I'll get in the car and I'll scream bloody murder. But the next second I'm going, what am I doing? Why? happened just there.
What time of the day do you usually meditate?
I'd like to say I do it in the morning, but I usually do it in the afternoon. And well, I use this app called Headspace. Have you ever heard of it?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I really, really like that one. I find that I have Calm also, but the guy who runs Headspace, Andy, he's just very wise. Gives a little talk before the meditation, and then it's a guided meditation, which is helpful too. You know,
So, what got you into doing the meditation? Is this a new thing for you?
not new. Well, the funny thing about meditation is it's not there to take your pain away. It's there for you to observe it. You know, but the impetus is like going, well, I feel like I'm going crazy, and I'm reacting all the time, and it's affecting my marriage and my life, and I find that therapy can be good, and I love to read different. There are different books I'm reading and things like that, and those are ideas and or philosophies or talking through things. But I'm finding the most powerful teacher is this idea of watching your mind, and there's a walking meditation, which I was trying to do on those walks too, and not judging it because you can observe crazy, crazy stuff that your mind, I'm going, well, that's not me. Who is this computer up there that's, spewing this stuff? And, so I find it useful to navigate the terrain of life as I get older, and I'm getting a lot older. And I feel like I've lived a very impulsive and sometimes inartful life in many respects. I mean, I've always in my work been conscientious and uh, um, stubbornly pursuing, sometimes what people consider an impossible dream. But how do you live a very good life that's more than just success? Um, that's what I'm interested in now. And creativity too, because I think it helps with creativity. Because I just noticed that when I did this play I just finished doing, It's a Wonderful Life, a radio play. We do it. We now have a tradition over in Denver at the Vision Box Theater of doing it every year. And acting, every actor teacher will say you got to get out of your head, you know. And I think that's true with life. And I now notice when I'm going somewhere that's off focus in the play, instead of it's easier to let go. Okay, you see it and move on, and it resonates in many different areas in your life. And I've got many miles to go before I sleep, and there's like you climb one mountain, there's the next mountain range. I mean, like I said, I fall on my ass all the time, but I'm listening and looking at it, and it's uh, it's a constant learning experience.
It's
But
powerful.
you're also in a profession, I think that, um, as an actor where you're vulnerable, right? So even going out for
Yeah.
parts and whether you get them or not, or what the reviews are, or the success of it, like it leaves you very vulnerable.
The rejection can be, you know, that's where I say you got to be hard headed.
Does rejection get easier as you get older?
I don't know. Maybe it doesn't last as long. I remember I was thinking I was going to get a part and it didn't happen. And it was like, in the moment, I was like, well, shit, what, why not? And then just let it go. I've had so much shit said about me, over the years that it's like, after a while in life, you just have to let them because what are you going to do? It's like if a snake bites you, you're going to bite a snake back. That's the nature of the snake.
And that's where the meditation takes a big part in allowing yourself to take a step back and think about it and sit in it.
Yeah, you know what? There was a very wise woman that, on my Instagram, I get different spiritual sites that pop up. And this one woman, she happens to be a gorgeous Scandinavian woman, and she has what do you call them on Instagram? They're like sites that, and they have, it's like almost like podcasts or something like that, where they, and she said something that really struck me. There were two things. One, she was talking about just being alive, life, in and of itself, knowing that you're going to die, is a basic knowledge you have in you, whether you want to admit it or not. And those empty feelings that can happen to you in life. And she said, you're not going to drink it away. You're not going to smoke it away. You're not going to fuck it away. You're not going to travel it away. You're not going to workahol it away. You're not going to be able to wish it away. You're going to have to sit in it and feel it. And that's the difference between pleasure and happiness too, because there is just looking, for a temporary high, whether it's that martini, and I still like a martini or a cigar, or sex, or whatever, to give you the momentary high. Happiness is something much more different. And I think that this woman, who's very wise, is saying that all those things we're chasing ain't going to do it until you just sit. And that's all very new for me.
And sitting in the pain too, Chris, I find that when we can sit in it, we can sort of start to transcend it
Mm-hmm.
instead of sort of fighting it and avoiding it, when we can just sort of stay in it and go, okay, this is a difficult time. And you do, all of a sudden you make that space where you can take that breath and you're like, okay, all right. And you find that
I find that pain. It's like, hello, old friend. Hello,
yes,
my old friend.
But if you don't sit in it and you're pushing it in a way or not acknowledging it, so it's going to come back in a different way.
Yeah, and that's where you find, well, is there a person out there that will solve this for me? A
No.
romantic
no,
feeling, a
no.
great night of sex. Is there maybe I'll smoke this or take this or party a lot and be with, and I'm not making that being social is very important, actually, but all those things as a way of escaping what that emptiness inside, which I'm sure come to grips with. The one thing about having young children is you don't have much time to indulge in emptiness. Like, let's go.
Do you mind sharing your age?
Painfully, yeah, no, I just turned 70,
You just turned 70. You look
Wow,
incredible.
you look great for
and
70.
I'm like, what the fuck, that number? Holy cow! I shudder because I don't. Obviously, your body's changing, and
What was
friends
that
are.
day like for you, turning 70?
Well, my wife said, "Do you want to have a party?" I was like, "No, I want to go hide."
Yeah,
Oh,
It's
yeah.
the number. I mean, 60 was hard, um, kind of, but 70 was also because my parents and grandparents were, you know, dead or like practically dead. Mid 60s. That was like as a kid, someone in their 60s was old, man.
Totally.
You know, and I feel very vibrant actually, and I'm looking forward to whatever's coming up. But you know, I one of the things is investing in physicality a lot
Yeah,
more.
we were just talking about that
So,
earlier, how
yeah.
important that is.
So, what is it like then? Because there's been a huge resurgence of Sex in the City,
I've noticed, but I don't understand it. It's been around for 20 years.
right? And I was just in New York visiting my cousin and her daughter. The fact that I took your photos and that I know you was just like all of a sudden
By the
my
way,
value went up.
hold on. That is the best picture that's ever been taken of me. Ever.
Oh, thank
That is,
you.
I use that. I mean, I don't usually have, resume pictures or anything. I said, no, I want this. When you send me out, you use this picture.
That's great.
Like,
Aw,
really,
thank
I don't
you.
know what you did to create that magic on this mug, but
Well,
it's
it's kind
really
of
the
hard
most
not to take a
important.
bad picture of you, but
Oh
but
yeah, you'd be
but a
surprised.
whole new generation is being introduced to you.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
what is that like? Sort of, are you feeling like
But,
people are like younger people are?
I used to not. I used to think it was a kind of a pain. Like I was like this. fucking Mr. Big thing is it was like my ego was like, I want to move on. And
Really?
I don't want anything sticking to me. It was like, I didn't even, I mean, the truth of it is there could, there are a lot of actors that could have done that part as good, if not better than me. I mean, that part is built into, Sale. I think they wanted Alec Baldwin for a while. He would have been great in that part. I can think of 10 actors that
But
would
it
have been
was
amazing,
you.
but it was me for some reason. And, and oddly enough to me, an old hippie, I was like, how in hell am I going to play this fastidious, put together guy, the antithesis of who I am, who's a businessman, who's always saying all these kind of suave things, who never lets his emotions get away with him, and is very, I'm like, what the fuck? How did they pick me for this? Basically, you look at the writing and you shed some of the stuff of your habits of yourself that aren't going to fit that, you know, and get into who this guy is, and in a way, kind of, I don't, maybe it's the wrong word to say, repress some of my personal crazy impulsiveness to a guy who's like that, and but I've always been surprised that I was even picked for this part and that it resonated, this relationship. I mean, whose idea of that is that it's this great relationship? I don't understand at all. He's got all this, takes her out to fancy dinner. I mean, I like it. I love all the humor of it. And I thought the humor was in the first few years fantastic. By the time they got to the movies, I was pretty much like,
Did you find that you carried that role of that person, Mr. Big, into your daily life at all?
no,
No,
no.
you didn't, because you
And
said
my
you
problem
repressed.
is that there have been people who think I am that part and or judge me based on that, I guess, or or hate me or whatever, because it's a part that people either love to hate or hate to love or just love. But because he was a guy that I think a lot of women would consider to be a toxic male or something like that, and But the fact of the matter is, as written, he basically broke up with her and got married to a different woman, and then cheated on that woman with her. And I don't, she must have been with like 20 different guys. But he was kind of I didn't like um I didn't like all the fuss about it. I really didn't. But now, I just accept it, and I've been very like, it used to be if someone wanted a picture, if you were at dinner, it's like, can we please not, but I guess I've come to understand, maybe this is through it. If it's important to these people to have the picture, well, I'm going to do it with you. If it means something to you, thank you. If I've somehow made you smile or laugh and you want to tell me, I appreciate it. Uh, I mean, it's much easier to be nice and open about it and appreciate. I really have grown to appreciate the love that a lot of people have for me in that show.
See, my first introduction to you as an actor and what I loved was when you were Mike Logan in Law& and Order. And I remember that was when I first saw you. And then I remember they did, I think they did an MOV of it.
Oh, Exiled, which I
Yeah,
helped do the story
Exile.
with.
And then I was hoping when they did that, I was hoping they would turn it into a series where you were in Staten Island
Oh
being a
man, I
cop.
kind of wish I had done that because Dick Wolf wanted to do that, and I didn't. I had just recently, a year or two before, gotten out of that series, and without a doubt, Law and Order was the most important sort of landmark in my career. It was New York. It was a show, a TV show in New York, which was super rare, and it was a part that was coveted by a lot of people, and the show embraced so many great actors from the theater, and it was so New York, and it was so different. Now procedurals are a dime a dozen. Everyone's doing them. But back then, and we didn't even think of it as a procedural. We thought of them as little gritty movies. And it were done differently. There was more experimentation. There was more freedom. There was more character work. As it morphed into a procedural, I spent 5 years doing it, but by the third year, I was getting, and on my third partner, I was beginning to see the writing on the wall of what this was. And it was repeating itself a lot. And Dick saw the money that could be made. And that's why Exile for me was so much fun. And because that was a real story.
Did you see it?
No.
Oh, I loved it.
No, I'm sorry. I've never
So
seen
back
it.
in the day when they did TV, we were supposed to do 3 of those a year, but then they realized there's no money in that. And they said to do it as a series. But I was like, I can't go back to doing a Law and Order. So it would have been a great one. It'd be a good one now, actually.
So did you know when you took did you realize like that was a turning point in your career and in your life?
I mean, literally, I thought I was going to have much more of a life in the theater, and then here and there do parts here and there. And
So
that
theater's your first love.
it was, and yeah. I mean, look, I don't know. It is. It's so difficult in many respects, and I have a family, and I can't raise them on what I'd make in the theater. But was the inspiration in training at Yale Drama and after Yale Drama and doing plays. And I mean, I have it in me to do a Shakespeare play again, and because I want to challenge myself. And I love Chekhov and Ibsen, and
Come
I
into
fun-
Stratford here.
Yeah.
I just got a Canadian agent.
Yes, I know.
Well, and I would like to. We're going to talk about Stratford. All my favorite people are Canadians. My wife is
Yeah, but
Is she
Stratford
where's
or
she from?
Shaw would be amazing.
Where's your wife from?
Canada, from Montreal, and then unfortunately her mother remarried, and they had to live in Windsor, which wasn't.
Oh.
Yeah, then he came to New York.
So you also love music, right? So with the theater and music.
It's just it takes so much out of you, and it's got to be a piece that you love and are passionate about, or it could be torturous. It can't be halfway. And music is just, gosh, I mean, come on, I'm Woodstock generation, rock and roll, and I've got this club, the Cunning Room, and it's been around since '98, and it's still alive, which is in and of itself unbelievable in New York with the way real estate is. Great places have closed. I mean, we're one of the very few music, and don't just do music. We do comedy, and I've done stage readings there, and I've done benefits, Rainforest Action Network, 2 or 3 of them there. And you ever heard of Sean Colvin? She did one of she came in.
Yeah.
She hosted it and sang at it. And it was just such a great venue for that.
It's called Cunningham's?
No, the Cutting Room.
The cutting room.
Sorry about that.
Because that's a music phrase. According to my partner, Steve, he really is the guy who runs it, and he is the Cutting Room. I mean, I was there from the beginning, but it's his whole life making sure that lives on. And I don't know, music's kind of fragmented, isn't it? I don't know. There's so much of it. I don't, it's hard to follow for me. I'm not.
What's your genre? Like if you had to go to one genre, what would it be?
I don't know. I'm everywhere from rock and roll to Stephen Sondheim to Gato to, I mean, what did I just heard Barbara Streisand do? So Stephen Sondheim mix with the Fifth Dimension. She does a mix of One Less Bell to Answer with the song from Sondheim, A House Is Not a Home. She mixes the two. I mean, I'm always hearing brilliant stuff from. So that's what it's like now. You just sort of catch something and put it on your playlist.
Mm-hmm. And then I find with my kids, then you're introduced to a whole other genre of music.
Ryan won't listen to any of my music on my playlist.
Of course.
And of course, my wife is totally country music, hates my music. Meanwhile, Pete has grown to be a huge Beatle fan.
Oh, I love that.
I can't wrap my head around country.
You can't wrap. No, I do like country. I do like country.
You like country?
I don't. I can't wrap my head around it.
Well, country's changed a lot, see? Now, when I was a kid, country was like really traditional country, and now it's something different. It's very hip. It's extremely popular, right? Oh, so I thought, let me look at one of my playlists. I call this Chinatown, which is more like if I'm out having a nighttime cocktail and a cigar.
You love your cigars, hey?
I do. I know it's not a great habit, but
I can smoke a cigar.
Oh,
I love it.
you guys get the Cubans, although they've gotten very expensive. So I've gotten Love Theme from Chinatown, the movie Chinatown.
yep.
Pat Metheny, Masala, Beyond, Laura Nero, Joni Mitchell.
Joni Mitchell just did a show in Los
Yeah.
Angeles. Did you go to
Yeah.
it?
No, I didn't go. Mono Cache, a song called February Sun, is the most beautiful piece of jazz.
Oh.
He's a drummer, Katche. Nancy Wilson, Stephen Sondheim, A Little Night Music, David Crosby, Sting,
I would love a copy of that
Mendez,
playlist.
Beck, The Brand New Heavies, Simply Red, Gordon
Oh,
Light,
that's like so diverse what you got going
Yeah.
on there.
Elaine Elias, James Taylor, of course, David Bowie, Pat Metheny again, Morgan Wallen, Seven Summers. That's such a beautiful song. Seven
Say
Summers.
that
do you know
fast
that one?
7 times.
7 Summers. Fats Waller, America, Fairport Convention, Bill Withers. Yeah,
I
so
love Bill Withers.
Yeah.
I listen to him. Yeah.
it's all over. Tony Bennett, Dionne Warwick.
I gotta write these down because I forget to listen to them.
You know what you should do? You should put together, you should send me a screenshot of that. We'll put together a little Chris Noth playlist.
I would love that playlist.
Yeah.
Is that
I don't know how to get it to you. I'll find it and I'll send it.
I'll message you.
Send it to
On Instagram.
our mutual friend,
Oh,
the
yeah.
incredible Diane Lang.
Diane Lang is the best.
Isn't
Yeah.
she? I love her.
She's incredible woman. Really incredible. I'm very lucky to have met her. We go way back.
I know.
Yeah.
So listen, as we start to wrap up, we have like a quick questions for you before we say goodbye.
Oh, well, you're smiling. That means I may be in trouble.
Okay.
Who is your favorite actor?
Living or dead?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd have to say a couple.
Okay.
Go for it.
Well, but there's always Brando, right? You can't get around that.
Yeah.
Laurence Olivier. And Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh,
right.
okay.
Love that.
No question, he's a genius.
Do you have a favorite film?
Yeah, there's too many films to.
Okay.
There's
Okay.
too many.
Bypass. So the next question then was, who would you want to play you in a movie?
Oh, I wish I could think of something funny to say. Who's out there? A young person or someone my age?
Whatever you
Whatever,
like.
yeah, first person comes to mind.
God, that's an impossible. Let's get back to that question.
Okay. Besides a cigar, what's your favorite guilty pleasure?
Martini.
Ah.
Like-
Now, if you could give
Oh, and I made a drink up, another one though, a Manhattan. In fact, my friend who owns the restaurant. You ever heard of Serafina in New York?
Yes.
I'm all over. Fabio, he's a very dear friend of mine, and he I created it's called Mr. Big. I never do this, but I say you can call this Mr. Big's Manhattan. And Woodford bourbon, shaken on ice, really, really cold, up with a little bit of orange bitters, splash no vermouth, and one of those dark cherries in it. And you get that in a martini, and it's a really good looking drink, and it's a great buzz.
I don't know about you, but my drink, I'm very fussy about the glass that it's served in.
Yeah. I hate these restaurants where they give you a martini glass that's this little, this is for my child, okay?
Yeah. Well, when Di and I had dinner with you, it was very funny because you ordered a glass of wine and they brought the wine. It was like this tiny little
Yeah, they
thimble, and you were
measure it
like,
out
what
as-
the fuck
Yeah.
is this? And you went up to the waitress and you were like, can I get it in like a manly, like not a manly glass, but can I get it in a proper big glass?
I do that all the
my
time.
4-year-old.
Yeah, if I don't like my glass, I will ask them to change it, especially
Yeah.
with wine. It has to be from a
Like a martini glass is very important that it's not one of these little grandma glasses, but like a real. I've got a bunch of real martini glasses here.
Yeah.
But
the
you're
thing
right.
Or the thing that I think is cool now that I've seen on social is like these ice cubes where they make these huge ice cubes.
Oh
Have
yeah,
you seen this? And then you pour the liquor over it, and there's something about the
Yeah.
ice that's
yeah, but the ice, all that ice has to dilute into your drink.
I don't know, but
Right?
it doesn't
So,
melt as
yeah.
fast or something.
That's
I don't
why
know.
I have mine shaking really
Shake it.
hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, that's the best way.
Yeah.
I would say some icebergs on top, but
Yeah.
If you could give a piece of advice to your younger self, what would it be?
don't take anything personally.
Yeah,
It's a
that's
good one.
beautiful.
Yeah,
I-
that's a good one. That's a
Hold
good
on.
one.
Love it.
Um,
I think that's a good note to.
I think so,
Yeah,
too.
I think so.
Chris, you thank you for spending your time with us, and you are so generous with your heart and your
Yeah.
time, and I think you are such an incredibly talented actor and such a
Just wanted
kind
to-
man.
One shout out about to someone who has helped me weather some recent storms, and he had me join a group that I found out it's called the Lion's Den.
Okay.
It's a group of men that I'm a part of, and Bart Morris runs it, and it's an examination of being a man
Hmm.
in marriage or relationship, and weathering those storms in a way that makes you a more compassionate man, and getting to know all the different, how in a relationship or marriage or anything, we often are in reaction to, especially as a man, because if you feel like you're running scared or something, I have a tendency to jump into anger and to protect myself. And it's about being more compassionate, more vulnerable, but not less of a man, but more of a man by being that. It's kind of a profound program.
I love that it's focused on men because you hear so many groups for women.
And I found them on Instagram, and obviously the thing is, there's no like I said, you climb a mountain and there's mountains beyond that. Like I meditate and I get in a car and I find myself screaming at someone, or I take something personal that my wife said and I blow up. But that's the thing, is like you get up and you face it again. And you try to be a better man again, and you keep going, because we're not machines, we're human beings, and
Well, you
we're
got to be kind to yourself as well.
Yeah.
It's okay to have those days or those moments. And step number one is you're aware of it. Oh, okay, I went through that. That's okay. And then if you do it again, but it's just being kind, and you'll say that to your children, the same thing. So give yourself the same advice.
Oh, you see it in your kids. My teenager, he's so hard on himself and gets stressed. Have to be perfect about, especially in sports and stuff. So
And would you tell him the same? So it's we have to remind ourselves that it's okay for us.
It's funny, my son, one of my boys, did something the other day. He goes, Mom, I really fucked up. And I'm like, yeah. And I said, you're supposed to. This is when we're supposed to do that. It's like, this is how we learn.
it's where you learn the most.
It's where you learn the most.
Greatest teacher. It seriously is. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yeah.
Right?
Darkness, my old friend. Yeah.
Well, again,
Yeah.
it was
Well, I'll
an
see you with
honor.
Di. I'll see you with Di at some point when I come up.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
inviting myself.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we'll try some of these drinks, and
Oh,
And we'll
yes,
go to and we'll
please.
come and see you in Stratford.
I'm gonna do it.
Are you coming to Toronto soon?
I think I will be, because I'm going to meet this agent. Yeah, I'm going to take a trip out. So I'd love to meet you all, and
That'd be great.
Lots of love.
thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you
Oh
for
my
being
gosh,
here.
thank you for lighting up my day.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
And you look gorgeous.
Ah.
Today, handsome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
Mwah.
Thank you.
That's all.
Okay, ciao.
To our listeners, we want to say how much we appreciate you, and we are so grateful for you. And remember, you're not alone on this journey. Until next time.
gorgeous.
Yeah, you look handsome.
I'm up in the Berkshires. I just got my Christmas tree, and it took me and my friend 2 hours to mount the thing. I don't know if
Do we
you
get
can
to
see
see
it.
it?
Can we see it?
Yeah, here, let me. I don't have anything. Can you see it?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh, wow, that's
wow.
beautiful.
I got the star on
What kind
top.
of tree is it? What kind of?
It's what the hell is it? Oh, I know. It's called a Christmas tree.
I know that fragrance.
It's a typical kind of.
Spruce.
It's funny. I was out with friends the other night at this fancy restaurant, the Polo Bar restaurant in New York City, with another actor. I don't know if you ever heard of Adrian Pasdar.
Yes.
And he had just had a back operation, and it was on meds, and he was kind of woozy and hurting. So we went out, and I had to help him, And of course, someone took pictures, and the Daily Mail, of course, came out and said, drunk.
Oh, no.
I used to get upset at that shit, but it's just they're so pathetic that I don't care anymore.
Oh,